Yeah. Let's go. We just gotta go hard. I go the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game. Yeah, I just gotta go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Yeah. Oh yeah, the beast back. Adrenaline pumping through my veins, can't relax. Original, I am not the same as these cats. I sting them if they never ever mind and they beeswax. I don't ever cap, but I'm wearing like 3 hats. Never been a rat, but I know where the cheese at. You'll never get a trophy cause they all here where we at. You better believe that. When it's all said and done, I'll still be here standing. Never took a loss and it ain't something that I'm planning. I dare you to say something, my focus is A1. Every dog has his day, it's been mine since day one. This is real grinding, I'm still climbing. While you still trying, I'm still shining. It's real blinding, and I'm getting hotter too. Talking top 2, I'm not a 2. You let the pressure bother you and I do what I gotta do. Let's go hard.
Making this play right here, boys. Want the baseball. Who wants the baseball right here? Come on, Braden. Let's party. Hey, this is what we do. Let's go, boys. Go get him. Let's go.
We here. No big intro today. We're getting straight to it. Also, like for the algorithm, it's Coach Justin's birthday.
Yeah.
Drop some happy birthdays in the comments. Hope everybody is doing well. Also, let us know if everything's good on our end. Sounds good. Everything's good. Make sure we're looking good.
Y'all tell us. Make sure y'all can hear us. If you can't, definitely let us know in the chat.
Yeah, let me check. But
you guys should be able to comment in the chat section. So if you guys are watching on YouTube, which is the only way you're watching, we've got a couple comments coming in. So it looks like it's good. The chat's open. So you guys definitely throughout the podcast, as always, make sure you guys chat. But thank you, Josh.
Yes, man.
Appreciate it, man.
We're
back.
We got some cookie cake as well.
Whoa.
Yes.
Look
Straight
at that.
for you.
Look at
Straight
that.
for you.
I actually didn't know he had this.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yep.
Look at Josh.
Happy birthday, man.
Dude, you're the best. I'm
But-
gonna throw it right there.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
I'm going to see if Kenya can maybe get us a knife or something in a second.
Let's go.
But anyway, yeah.
You're the man.
Shout out to everybody who is in the chat. That is from last chat. I guess hasn't finished sending.
We're bringing Kenneth back there. That's okay.
Yeah, Kenneth.
That's how we ended the last podcast.
Hopefully it'll catch up in a second.
We'll figure it out.
Anyway,
it's always fun.
We had a fun time. We actually got on the field. You know what's funny? We get on the field, and then halfway through, we're like, man, this sky's looking dark halfway through our first session. And then the old lightning strike where, last week we had the issue of it was like 100% chance of rain. And then it just kept getting pushed back. And then it finally rained. And then this week it wasn't really supposed to rain. And then it was like
the opposite.
Yeah, it was crazy.
The forecast for the practice looked bad.
Yeah.
The whole weekend was bad. And then we went inside and it didn't rain until the very end. And then the forecast was great for the inter squads.
Yes.
And then the lightning. Jamie McDaniel, what's up, Jamie? I saw your Instagram response to our story. Got to get Jamie on the podcast. What up, Jamie?
Absolutely. We got a lot of happy birthday Justins coming in. Shout out to Reed Harden.
Let's go.
Shout out to Quentin Peterson, Hudson Starley's in the chat. Shout out to everybody. Man, we have a good show lined up for you. Coach Ked is going to be joining us later. So if you have any questions for Coach Ked or for us to answer in the Q&A section, go ahead and drop them and we'll save them for that portion. Like we said, no big intro this week because we got some good stuff coming for next week. We're gonna keep some of the stuff we got in the chamber. voiced some of my ideas with you and Coach Trent a while back. So I want to make sure that we're good. No hiccups when that big reveal comes. But yeah, we had some good ball. But before we get into the inter squad recap, we're actually going to get into what's coming up this week, some tournament protocol. So Coach Justin, talk to us about, good protocols, good practices going in, because for some of these parents and for some of these players, maybe their first time playing up at Lake Point.
Yeah, for sure. So I threw this in the podcast plan. I was like, maybe we should talk about this.
Right.
A lot of people's first time up there. And so it's really like probably the premier youth sports place to play baseball. Beautiful
Absolutely.
facility. I was looking at our schedules, like we play some really tough teams.
Yeah.
We're going to be playing some really good players and against some really good teams this weekend. But it's going to be beautiful. We play one game every day, Saturday through Tuesday. So that's all five of the 15U and up teams. And the 14U team, you guys are going to be in the Metro Atlanta tournament. So I sent out that schedules as well. So everybody should have their schedules. But a couple of the important things I definitely wanted to say, and the players have been doing a great job of this, and I might need to silence my phone because, we might have some of them during the podcast. But make sure you guys are telling us, we like to say 3 days or more in advance, if you guys are going to be missing. Like we had somebody who's got a graduation of a family member. We got somebody who's got a conflict with school. So all that stuff, it happens. We know it's going to happen. Make sure you guys let us know in GroupMe. Please don't text me. My phone would never stop ringing, and I would forget to relay it to the rest of our coaches.
Right.
So post it in GroupMe so all the coaches can see. All of us can see at the exact same time, and we have an entire system we use to track the absences to make sure we have enough guys, to make sure we have enough, infielders, outfielders, pitchers lined up. So make sure you guys do us that favor. And players, make sure you guys have the GroupMe app. You have to have GroupMe. Make sure you're in the group.
Actual app.
And make sure you have the notifications on.
Yeah.
Because if you open it once a week, there's going to be 200 messages in there. And,
You've already missed something.
You're going to be missing all the
Yeah.
important stuff. So, yes, it is. Sometimes, there will be several messages, bang, 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 and you kind of have to look at them to make sure you stay up to date. But that's how we communicate. And if it gets out of hand, sometimes we will be like, all right, guys, stop posting and group me so much. But that's a couple things that are really important. But yeah.
Yeah, but also make sure you have the app too, because if you don't, you'll start getting messages to your phone. But eventually, if you don't join with the app, it'll remove you automatically from the group. I don't know if a lot of people don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to make sure that people are aware of that. So
I have seen that. Yeah, there's also a few, if you guys saw the schedules, there's a few games that are not at Lake Point. There's so many teams that want to play at Lake Point. They have a few different venues in the surrounding area. One of them is Georgia Highlands College. I know 15U plays there, which is honestly just as nice of a facility, brand new turf field.
Yeah,
but make sure you guys
there.
have the addresses and make sure you guys are going to the right field. Hour in advance at least, and make sure we have enough time to prepare for the game. Oh man, there was one other thing I was going to say. Can't remember. But yeah, anything else you need to, any advice you have or anything like that?
Yeah, traffic's always bad. We always have players, get stuck in traffic, or inevitably there's going to be an accident on 75, as there is almost every day. And so with this being a holiday weekend as well, a lot of traffic is going to be on the road. So make sure that you're, buffering in probably 20, 25 minutes. Like it's better to be, early by that amount of time than to be rushing and only have like 30 to 20 minutes to actually get ready to play a game, especially with, some of the competition that you alluded to that we're going to be playing. So make sure that we are getting there in a timely manner.
Yep, for sure. And then parents, you should have all gotten emails from me yesterday with a ton of information. It had links to the PBR team that your player was assigned to. We sent out the rosters. I sent out a ton of stuff for that. So make sure you guys are following those emails. That's how we're going to communicate with you guys. If you guys need anybody added to the email list, just respond to the email that you get or let me know, and I'll be happy to add an email to that list so everybody can stay up to date on all the things you need to know. But yeah, season is here, man. Just a few days out. We get to play some baseball. Excited to watch the boys compete.
Yeah, I love it. All right. Well, let's move on to our next segment. we got an inner squad recap. Yeah, about this past weekend. The Stars were in action. Give me some of your favorite performances and players from this past weekend.
Yeah, so there was a lot, man, and it's so tough too because you'll never be able to remember everything. Like,
Right.
I got hit in the head with a line drive, so if anybody did something good in the 20 minutes after that, like I missed it.
Yeah.
But I still remembered several players, and we'll start because we had the 17 you guys first.
Right.
So we'll start with those. Jonathan Turner had 4 hits.
4 hits.
Smoked a ball, burnt the left fielder.
Yeah.
Nico Elwood looked to me like
He looked good.
Yeah,
he
dude,
looked really good on the mound.
Nico, if you're listening, dude, like if you can just continue to grow and get your velo up just like 4 miles an hour, dude, like from the left side, you have an insane amount of potential. So Nico was like, I was like, this kid could be really good off the mound.
Absolutely.
I thought Jake Williams looked really good. And Matthew Albritton's another player who has just grown tremendously. And so he looked really good. He had a great high school season, and he had a couple throwdowns that kind of caught my attention to the bags. Tried to throw a guy out at third and, some throwdowns in between the innings. Matthew looked really good. I'm trying to think who else. That was a few of the 17 you guys. Did you have anybody else?
Joseph Stallings.
Yep, that was another one.
He's actually leading. Him and JT are 1 and 2 right now in the rankings after the inner squad, because we told the guys stats were live, and some guys had some big days. So Joseph Stalling was one of them. I think he hit 2 doubles and a single, something like that. He had 3 hits and a walk. So absolutely crushing it on base 4 times. We already mentioned JT. Somebody who had a good day, Caden Hogan.
Yes. Shout out. Boy,
yeah, 2 hits for him and a walk. So he's right up there in the top 10 as well. Christian Hewitt got the day started with a bang, singling in the 5-6 hole. That 5.5 hole, as Tony Gwynn affectionately named it.
Right.
And then another guy that I liked on both sides of the ball was Alex Paul. I know we're moving into
we'll move to the 16U guys.
16Us now, but he looked really good on the mound.
We sent up several hitters after he struck out a few guys.
Yeah, we were just like, keep him rolling.
Let's go. And Coach Trent was like, nah, dude, like we've seen enough. Like he looks great.
He had he just had so much command. He was in the zone.
He looked really good.
And he was very poised. And that's what you love to see out of pitching or out of a pitcher, because that's the beauty of baseball, when a guy is like dialed in and he's pitching with tempo too. Because what happens a lot of times when pitchers get in trouble is they're taking their time, they're thinking about pitches, they're like, oh my god, they're trying to be too fine. But he was getting on the mound, he was hitting his spots, he was grabbing the ball, back to the mound, next pitch. So it was beautiful. Also went 2 for 3 on the day too. So both sides of the ball had a Paul Skeens like day.
Yeah, let me see who else I had. I had Alex Paul, Brooks Carter, looked good off the mound. I liked Yusef Muhammad as well.
Yeah, he looked really good on the mound.
Yes, I liked him. Quentin Peterson, probably the hardest hit ball of the day.
Yeah, that ball
right
was
center field.
Smoked.
I think I saw some really good flashes from Caleb Green off of the mound, and I thought Austin Lassiter looked pretty good too.
Mm-hmm.
I liked him on the mound and his swing. Just sweet lefty swing, short and simple, and I thought he looked good.
Yeah, Caleb Green also looked pretty good at the plate. Didn't get a hit, but didn't get out. He worked a couple walks as well. So good day all the way around for Caleb.
Yeah.
Another guy, a returner too.
That's right.
He played for us he played summer and fall, didn't he?
I think he did.
Yeah,
I think
played
Caleb
summer
played
and
both.
fall.
So yeah, he's come a long way, and I liked watching him off the mound. I think he's gonna.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot bigger
potential.
and a lot. You could tell he's matured in his baseball IQ and just overall confidence too, which is what we love to see as coaches. So. Another guy that I liked, I know we're bouncing around, is Dylan McAllister. He looked really good in the box, worked a couple walks, didn't necessarily get a hit, but just his approach, the way he attacked the ball, he looked good. So no doubt looking for him.
Yeah, I've got a few 15U names listed, and we were missing a lot of guys too.
Yeah, we were. I had 5 guys missing from.
We'll talk about that more later, because we've got some guys who are still competing for state championships. We got guys playing right now.
Yes,
the Lowndes
right now.
guys are playing right now. Who else is playing? I know Cherokee Bluff is playing. Like a lot of the state championship games are going on right now. So that's pretty cool. Maybe we can do a live check-in later.
Oh yeah, that'd be
see if we can find some info on that. That'd be kind of cool. But several 15 you guys, Logan Wilcher. Logan, if you're watching, I need you to hop in the chat and drop a comment because Logan did some cool stuff. I don't think Logan's probably played an inning at his high school at shortstop, but he got to play some shortstop because I was missing 2 middle infielders, and he went over to short. He made like a nice play on the run. He was having fun. Logan, every time you touch the field, it should be that fun. You were having a great time. I could tell you were enjoying it. He got to play short. He made some great plays on defense. I think I don't know if he got any hits. He put the ball in play a couple of times. I think he flew out a couple of times. But Logan looked like he was having a blast. So that stood out to me because I love seeing that. Keaton Teal was another guy who I'm really excited about in the 15U, or he's a 16U guy on that team, but he's going to be really good. Michael Bailey, same situation. He looked good on both sides.
He made some good plays at short.
Yeah, he did.
Got a hit or two as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm really excited to see some of these guys competing, for us against, other competition.
For sure. And then I had Michael Knutson looked good. The last
he looked
pitcher
really
of the
good on the
night.
mound. Yeah.
I had to do some stuff because he's a catcher too. So I had to try and manage that. Like it's hard to when can I let my catchers pitch? And I don't want to work them too hard because they're catching, and I wanted him to play some third, and so it's tough. So he was like the last pitcher of the night, and he came out and was like, and I was like, oh, that guy looks good. So he stood out to me. Brody Rogerson, I thought, did a pretty good job behind the plate too. And then there's Knox Hillhouse, I thought looked pretty good behind the plate too. I know he threw a guy out. So a lot of good stuff, man. Several different age groups. 14U guys. I don't know if you don't know the 14U guys as well as I do. I don't think, right?
I know them by faces because I take pictures. But
yeah, that's okay.
I don't know them by their game.
Yeah. I know Tyler Holmes hit a ball well. Trying to think who else. Man, there's so much baseball. Just trying to think who else. A lot of the guys, the cool thing about the inter squads too was we were missing a couple of the guys, and so some of the guys who haven't been able to play as much got some good reps.
Right.
And a lot of those guys too is their first time on a college field. And not only that, the lighting delay early pushed it into the night, so that was kind of cool.
I got to play under the lights a little bit.
So that was kind of cool. But a lot of good stuff, man. And we got to review the signs and plays, and we had some of the team meetings where we talked about hey, we just messed up this tandem relay. My first baseman wasn't where he was supposed to be, so let's talk about it. So it was good, man. I think there was a lot of learning, some good reps, and our coaching staff got to see some boys play, which is what we need. So
I'm really excited about our coaching staff. Actually, I think it's a really good group of guys. I think we have a lot of fun. Not that we haven't had fun in the past, but really like this the group that we got going in. As far as how everybody deals with the players as well as interacts with each other. I think we got a good thing going there.
Yeah, no doubt. I want to take a quick pause. I want anybody who found this link on Facebook, you guys go ahead and share it. Share it to your Facebook. Let's get some grandmas watching. We're about to have a series. Do we see? Do you have it lined up? Inter Squad Star Success. Yeah. So the next thing is we're going to be talking about some of the guys in the program. We're going to be talking about their high school accolades. We're going to be talking about some cool stuff that they've been recognized for. Some of them on the baseball field, some of them off the baseball field.
Right.
But some really cool stuff. So let's share the link. Let's get some more people watching the podcast. I think that'd be really cool because I bet there's some guys whose grandmas would just love to watch this on a Tuesday night, And
and the cool thing is about the podcast is I know, we're obviously focused on baseball, but if you got different accolades and accomplishments that you earn outside of baseball, we'll shout you out. So send us a picture or send us anything that acknowledges you, and we will shout you out on the podcast here. Cause that's what, Coastal Stars family is all about.
Yeah.
All right.
That's exactly what we're trying to do. Cool. You want to move on to that?
Let's move on.
Segment here.
Yep. We have Star Success, a lot of accolades, as we just mentioned, going on. Let me see if I got some of the pictures. So
that's we got guy Tanner Meeks. Yes, sir. Played for you, right?
He didn't. He was on the other team, but I got to coach him in a couple games. He would come and play for us every now and then. Yeah, and just an absolute dog. Dude, just got after it.
I love that kid, man.
The definition of a scrappy dog, definition.
Yeah, so I'll have to pull up my list here. Let me zoom in because we've got a good list, and some of these awards are coming in. And if you guys were all region, if you guys got an award for your program, I know some people have been sending me stuff. You guys keep doing that. That's awesome. I want to recognize you guys. We're proud of all the accomplishments that, we can celebrate with you guys. But yeah, so he was named the, I think it was Region 4A Offensive Player of the Year. So he was the best offensive player in his entire region. So shout out to Tanner Meeks, Hawkinsville High School. He can really do it all, man. He came off of an injury last year that he had, I think, when his high school season started. But he came back his senior year, absolutely balled out. I talked to him not too long ago. He was trying to figure out what his college plans, what his future plans were. He's thinking about joining the military. But fantastic player, great kid, man, and really enjoyed having him in our program. And obviously, he played well for his high school. So congrats to Tanner.
Yep, shout out Tanner.
Sweet.
All right, moving on to our next picture.
There's our guy
picture.
All right. I think we're back.
Yeah, totally.
I think we had some microphones just randomly shut off. Can you guys hear us now? I think we had some audio issues. If you guys can hear us, drop a comment in the chat for me. Just want to make sure our audio is good before we proceed. Can you guys hear us? Somebody? All right. We got a yes. All right, cool. All right. Sorry about that, guys. We had a malfunction in our audio there for a moment. I think it went out. Not sure what happened, but I think both of our mics just turned off. Josh just stepped out for a moment. I think he's working on making sure that doesn't happen again, but you guys got me. We were just talking about Carter Lee. He is the guy who flashed up on the screen there a moment ago. And he went home with some honors recently. What'd you say? I think we're back. I think we're good. Oh, sweet. And we got some plates for our cookie cake. Let's go. All right. So we were just talking about our guy, Carter Lee.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
We
technical difficulty. It literally just shut off.
Yeah, we've never had
and
that.
I heard it kind of popping, and it's never done that, and then it just turned off. So, there's 1,000 electronics in here, so
yeah, Josh has got
at some point.
Quite the setup in here.
All right.
So yeah,
yes,
Carter Lee, he's on your team. You've coached him. Talk about him.
Yeah, this guy is he's just sneaky, just all around talented kid. You look at him, he's a presence, he's big. And then you watch him take BP and you're like, man, that ball is coming off his bat hard. And then honestly, at the start of the fall, he was hitting, and then I looked up and I was like, this kid's hitting like 400. I was like just sneakily just grinding out hits, grinding out at bats. And then I think by the end of the fall, he was like my 4 or 5 hole. And he just stayed there. And then he also, throws it really well on the bump. I didn't even know he pitched until the fall was like basically over, till like the last tournament. So yeah, and he's just a really good kid. He's quiet, but he's really the definition of what it means to lead by example. He just gets in there, and he just gets after it. And that's what you want as a coach, is you want a guy who's, going to be coachable, listen, and heed your direction, but also, he's just getting in there and competing.
Yeah, for sure. He received his team MVP award, and he was all region. So congrats to Carter.
I love it.
And he's still in the playoffs. Trinity Christian, him and Cooper Dasher are still playing. Shout out to Cooper, another Coastal Star guy. And
they're playing.
They can win the whole thing.
Yeah, so they're playing on Friday.
Yeah, I think so. Thursday
or Friday, and I think they said if they split, he'll be there. If they don't, then he won't.
Yeah, I hope you win state, Carter. But I also would love to have you. With us this weekend. So we'll see what happens.
My heart dropped a little bit when he said he wasn't coming.
Big bummer there. Yeah. So let's continue on. Do you have more pictures for us, Josh?
I think we got 2 more.
Beautiful. We got KP.
KP Andrews.
Yeah. KP Andrews, 2025 guy.
Played for Ked and played for me this fall.
Yeah.
Just talked about him either last podcast or the podcast before. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's just one of those guys who is going to get after it. He's feisty behind the plate. He's going to fire up his teammates, and he's going to be really vocal. So he's like actually the opposite of Carter, right? Where Carter's kind of the quiet assassin, leads by example, just kind of gets the job done, like somebody who's just a thief in the night. KP's like, no, I'm here, and you're going to know I'm here.
Vocal leader. Yeah. They won state, so he's an Alabama state champ. Over there. I think Glenwood is his high school that he's at.
I believe so.
So congrats to KP. Shout out to you, man. Got a whole bunch of other guys to hit too on this list. We got, what'd you say, one more picture?
Yes. We got...
There's Zach McConnell.
Shout
out to Zach, 16U guy. He won his JV Pitcher of the Year award at his high school. So there is Zach and his dad. Shout out to you guys. Congrats, Zach. Excited to watch him play this weekend. Looking forward to it. And then was that the last picture you had?
That was the last picture that I have, but we have a really long list, so stay tuned, guys.
I'll hit some more guys on this list. We got some Perry High School guys. Jonathan Coleman, Coastal Stars Alumni Coaches Award and All Region Honorable Mention.
There we go.
Shout out to Tex. We also had Jackson Thompson, Janoris Reeves, and Finn Hawk also receive awards at Perry. I can't remember. I could pull it up if I wanted to. Maybe I will real quick. I think honorable mention was Coleman. Brady Preston also got that. Coastal Stars
nice
guy. First team was Reeves and also Jackson Thompson. So shout out to those guys.
Shout out to all my guys.
Yeah. We had also, did you get the picture of Brantley? Did I send you the picture of Brantley?
I don't think so.
His fish?
Those were all the pictures I had.
I didn't send you that picture.
No.
Let me see. I'll show it on my camera.
You can send me, or you can text it to me, or
and you can pull
email me. Yeah, either way, because I got my iPad. You can pull it up.
All right, I'm gonna text it to you right now. All right, we'll hit him at the end then. So I'll text it to you.
And well, we can let Ked kind of talk about some of these guys too when we bring them on.
Yeah,
because I know he coached a good bit of these guys.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Ben Brodnex, Harlan Phillips, 2 other Hawkinsville guys, all region honors. Chandler Aguirre playing in the GACD senior games.
Yes, that's my guy.
Congrats to Chandler. We also had Braden Lampkin. He won Defensive Player of the Year at Valdosta.
Nice.
Yeah, congrats to Braden. Played with us last fall. Let's see what else. We've got Jackson Jenkins and Cardin Patrick.
Yes.
All region. Shout out to those guys. Also played with us. We have some college guys too. I don't know if you saw those guys on the list.
I actually didn't get a chance to look at. I saw the list, but I didn't get a chance to look over it extensively. So I'm hearing a lot of this for the first time as well.
Any players who are watching, we got like 30 people watching right now. Players, go watch the college conference tournaments. All right. It's the end of the season for these college guys, and they're kind of fighting for their lives now. They're in the conference tournament. I was watching the ACC tournament today. I was watching the Sun Belt tournament. Go watch those guys play. Go watch the college players. If you want to be a college player, you need to be watching the college players. But we had several guys whose teams, I think, either won their conference tournament or had great showings in their conference tournament and had great seasons. So Perry Usher, Albany State, I know they had a great season. And Ryan Powers, Will Godwin, those are two guys who played with us, and they're at ABAC. Also, guy texted me today. He was supposed to call me. I don't know if Thatcher's watching this. You remember Thatcher Bauman?
Yeah, Thatcher.
Thatcher texted me today. He wanted to call me. Not sure why, but he had a pretty decent freshman year. I think he had some good ABs. He hit like 350 or something.
Nice.
At Spartanburg Methodist. So shout out to Thatcher for having a cool, awesome freshman season. We got guys all over the place playing for state championships. We already talked about Carter Lee. We got the Lanier County guys that played with us. We have Cody Bridger is actually playing in the state championship right now.
Yes, Cody Bridger.
Coached him for a year. And then, of course, we've got all our Lowndes guys too. Jaden, Trace. I'll forget some.
Jaden,
Paul
Trace,
Tyndall.
Paul Tyndall. Yeah.
Weston and Tyler Parker.
Tyler
all those
Parker's
guys
down
that we
there,
had
yeah.
with us. So yeah, good luck to those guys. We got guys doing cool stuff all over the place. You guys, Tyler Parker, all those
Parker's
guys
down
that we
there,
had
yeah.
with us. So yeah, good luck to those guys. We got guys doing cool stuff all over the place. You guys, Tyler Parker, all those
Parker's
guys
down
that we
there.
had. All right, we good?
Yeah, I don't know.
We had some weird audio stuff happening in our ears that time.
Yeah, that was weird. You know why that's weird? Because okay, here we go. All right.
Yeah, put that picture back on the screen. Shout out to my guy. Oh, there's Josh's home screen.
That's my home screen. Hold up.
He had it. Shout out. We're going to talk about Brantley real quick.
Yeah, if we can. Okay, there we go. We figured it out.
Yeah, there's my guy Brantley. Brantley's been doing some cool fishing stuff. He won the biggest bass for the junior division for the HCS
Look at that thing.
BAF 2025. I think it's like 5-pounder caught out of Lake Sinclair. So he won a cool award for that. To
Yep.
celebrate some stuff that's not just baseball. I thought that was pretty cool.
Nice.
I told his dad that eighth grade me was very jealous.
Yeah, because you would have.
Oh, dude, I'd have a fishing
you
team
would have
so
been on that
fast.
fishing team.
So yeah, shout out to Brantley.
Yes.
Some cool fishing awards being handed out as well.
Yeah, man.
Very good.
I
All
love
right.
it. I love it. I love it.
That's the list for this week. If you guys have some cool accolades, definitely let us know.
Yeah, next week we get to start diving into some of these stats after the first tournament with some of these guys. So it's going to be fun. They'll have a good little sample size other than 4 at bats. So we'll get to really see who's leading the charge. Get an early look at the MVP race. Look at all the teams that we mentioned from last week, and yeah. But now, I think we need to get into our next topic. And this is the main event of the night. We get to talk with none other than the man himself, Kedrick Zimmer.
Coach Ked, there he is. I think he's muted. Unmute yourself, Ked.
There we go.
What's up, Coach
What's up,
Ked?
Ked?
What up?
How are you
How we
today?
doing? Good.
Hey, we're good, man. We're good. So you are coaching with us for the third summer straight. Just got back into playing at Emmanuel, but unfortunately got hurt. So tell us about that injury, and then tell us about your road to recovery and your future.
Yeah, it was I'm gonna make a long story short, it was kind of just a freak accident in the gym. I know I shouldn't have done an exercise when I did it. I haven't had a great track record of doing it, but injured it, had labrum surgery, and so I've got the next 8 to 9 months to recover, and then it'll put me ready right before the season. But been doing PT, all that stuff started last week, so I'm optimistic and ready to get back to the field.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
love it. Love it. So if you guys see Coach Ked in a sling this weekend, that's why he just had labrum surgery last week. Was it last week? I think it
2
was.
weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago today. So you might have, let's see. You might have had it the day
It was the day you were.
Yeah, the day.
Like all that
we had
happened
our
on the
baby,
same
yeah.
day. It was
Perfect.
crazy.
I'll never forget May
Yeah,
7th.
what a
2025,
day.
The day Ked had surgery.
Yeah, what a day in Coastal Stars lore. We had a bunch of
Perfect.
guys signing.
Yeah, it was
babies
crazy.
being born.
Crazy week that week. Cool. Ked, we're going to hit you with some rapid fire questions. Let the people, let the listeners, let the players know a little bit more about you.
Absolutely.
We know Ked very well. He came through our program as a player, went on to pitch in college, but some of our parents and some of the players on your team don't know you that well. So we're going to hit you with some questions. I think we're just going to kind of rinse and repeat some of the previous questions we asked some of our other coaches because we're running out of good ideas. If you guys have a question, though, for Coach Ked, chat's gone a little cold here lately, guys. Somebody put a question out there for us. We had some good questions last week. So, you guys definitely put a question in the chat. But I'll start. Ked, favorite Major League Baseball player growing up? Who'd you idolize?
I was always for some reason, a Ramos Ramirez fan and Starlin Castro fan.
Okay.
Wow.
Ramos Ramirez
Okay.
That's a wild card right
that's
there.
That's not on my bingo card.
Now, Starlin Castro, he had a stretch where I was like, man, this guy's the
I
next
was
guy.
actually
But
number 17 growing up solely because of Ramos Ramirez.
wow.
I don't know why, but
That's crazy.
But he's a big Cubs guy, so that makes sense.
You're a
Yeah,
Cubs.
yeah.
You're a Cubs
Yeah,
guy. Okay.
big Cubs guy, so that makes
Checks out.
sense.
Starlin Castro. Okay.
Starlin Castro.
All right. Hit him with the next one, Josh. You got it
Yes,
pulled up.
best baseball memory as a player.
He's still making some more, probably.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm hoping to make
So
better
far.
ones than what
Yeah.
I've already got.
And if you want,
No, I
if you
hear
want to
you.
pass, you can just say pass too, and we'll move to the next one.
No. I'm gonna say it was probably the biggest step from like high school to college was, I believe, either my freshman or sophomore year making the conference tournament and getting to travel up with all the guys and going to like a nice facility where you play on a turf field and like it's like you get to feel like the adrenaline when you're like in the games and the weekend series and games that matter, but it's just like when you get there, it's like a whole new stage that you're playing for, with all the signs and the good broadcasts and everything, you name it. So I would probably say that was probably my most, like the memory I remember the most.
Nice. That's a good answer.
yeah.
We got one from the chat. I'll go ahead and ask this one. Quentin Peterson, who was your favorite college baseball team growing up? Or did you have one? Some kids don't really watch college baseball, you know? Good question for Coach Ked.
Watched their baseball team growing up, but I was always big, like college baseball for me, I've always been a fan of like postseason baseball. It's like I didn't really have a favorite college team, but College World Series time,
Yeah,
I'm
pick
watching
a
it.
team when they get to
Postseason in
Omaha.
October.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
I normally pick like
Yeah.
an underdog that I want to see like
Yep.
Right.
fight through. Yeah.
Yeah, love that. Very good. Josh, hit him with the next one from the list.
Yeah. So wood bat or metal bat? What's your preference? I mean, as a pitcher, you got
As
to
a
go
pitcher,
wood, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go wood.
Yeah, you're
especially as a
trying to
pitcher, but I
splinter some
also
people.
love the sound.
Yeah. There's nothing like a good.
It's just
Like
pure.
when Quentin Peterson hit that ball
Mhm.
on Saturday, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like it sounded like when you have the perfect timing on MLB The Show,
Yeah.
that's what it sounded
Yeah,
like.
Smack.
Yeah.
Just bam. It's one of the best sounds in sports, no doubt.
No doubt about it. Least favorite drill to run at practice.
PFPs.
Yeah, well,
Pitchers
yeah,
love
PFP
PFPs.
wheel.
Yeah, they actually
Especially
get to
when
do
When
something.
we split up into like two small groups and do PFP wheel, and you've got it's just constant running. Probably not the most fun thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is tough.
But I mean, it keeps it active.
I hear you.
I hear you. Walk up song if you were playing today or your best from the past.
I'll just go ahead and say my walkout song for pitching this last year was "Live Your Life" by T.I.
Okay, live your life.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Josh. Hit him with it.
Hey.
Oh, okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, I like that.
Like that. I like Josh singing.
Never
it too.
mind what haters say. Know 'em till you fade away. Amazing day. Yeah, I know that song.
Yeah.
Josh can sing the whole song. I love
Yeah,
it. I know the answer to this one: pitching duel or slugfest.
pitching duel.
Yeah, you're
Of
in
course.
it. You're in it, buddy. You're in it. One baseball superstition you believe or that you still believe in or that you do.
Not a big fan of people putting their hand in my glove. I hate it.
Yeah?
I don't.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't like
nasty.
the feeling of
That's a
it.
good
I
one.
don't know if
Yeah.
that's the infield in me, but I
Yeah.
don't do it.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I understand that one. Day game or night game? What's your preference?
I love pitching under the lights. I think it's more cool to do that. So I'm gonna go night game.
Yeah, like I think as a pitcher, I never pitched, but I think the anticipation of like the day, and then
Yeah, your
it's like a
entire
Friday
day.
night light
Yeah.
game thing. Yeah, I think there's something special about it for sure.
Yeah.
It's
Turf,
also tough pitching in
yeah.
that with the ghost ball when it gets above the lights and it's tough to see and tough to catch too. That could
Yeah,
play a big factor in my pitching, how I throw it and how my stats are. So that also plays a role.
Yeah.
that's true.
Turf or grass?
Is there an option of turf with a dirt mound?
Yeah, absolutely.
We can do whatever we want. This is our podcast.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that one.
Oh, so you're a big
Ground
UNG
balls,
guy.
but I love a dirt mound. I don't like a turf mound.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
The turf mound thing,
I don't know why that ever became a thing.
well, it's a lot easier, when you're at Lake Point and you got, you're playing 50 innings a day.
Yeah,
on a
that's
field.
true. That's true. That's true.
So it's a maintenance thing, but there's a reason no big league fields have turf mounds.
yeah, it's just
because
unnecessary.
the dirt is just king when it's properly maintained and somebody gets to fix it after every game.
Yeah, I mean it's like the conversation we had last year. Like we rather play on turf, but
Mhm.
there's like 10% of fields where it's like properly manicured, and
Yeah.
we're choosing grass.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Gavin, what up, Gavin? We got Gavin in the chat. He's got a question. Let's see what he said. As a college pitcher, what's the most important thing to you with your pitcher-catcher relationship that's a must-have? Wow, what a great question, Gavin.
It didn't change. Hold up.
Josh pulled up the wrong one. We can come back to that one if you want. That might be a more in-depth one.
No, I can answer it. I would say the biggest thing that you can have, it really depends on your role, but I'm gonna go with like what I want to be, which is a starter. The relationship that I have with my catcher, the thing that plays the biggest role would be throwing like a lot to him so that he can know what pitches break what direction. It allows my catcher to receive a lot better. He can see like the shape and design of it. If I tend to back up certain pitches, because the more he can see what I'm doing and what it looks like on a good day when I'm not throwing it well, he can then also dissect what I'm doing wrong that says, hey, you're releasing like not as far out front this time, you're delayed somewhere, whatever it may be. So I would say getting like a really good foundation of like you know each other and he knows what it feels like to catch you and what you look like on a really good day so that he can always give you feedback to help you maintain that.
Yeah, there is so many layers to that question and that response. A lot of it has to do with trust and a relationship, right? Like you'll never be a good catcher. And we talked about KP. They won state, and KP was a talker. Like he would talk to everybody. And catchers have to be talkers. They have to get to know their pitchers. That's one of the things in our catching guidelines is that's your pitching staff. Like you have a responsibility to know those guys. And if a catcher knows a pitcher so good that he'd be like, hey man, like you're not doing this right. Or, hey dude, your head's going this way. Like that's why your slider's missing here. Like we got to make this correction. Like that's so big and that's crucial. Great answer.
Yeah. And especially when you have a catcher that like mid game is able to, when you go down in a count or something, that's able to just come out and make a mound visit and make certain tweaks and to help you, because in-game adjustments is really difficult to make as a pitcher. And having that second pair of eyes and the dude that's going to war for you back behind the plate and you feel confident in, that's going to get you strikes and going to get you calls and no pass balls are going to happen and you can spin it how you want. Like everything it flows a lot better, makes you more confident as a pitcher.
Yeah, for sure. Besides Gavin, if we got a catcher listening, y'all make yourself known in the chat. I want to see what catchers are getting to hear this, because there's just, I mean, when we went over the catching guidelines, we talked about a ton of stuff with catchers, but like, I don't know what guys are doing at 9:30 on a Tuesday,
Right.
but they're probably on TikTok or playing video games or something. Like we got to get these guys in the podcast. I want to know what other catchers are hearing this and what other catchers can learn. So Gavin said, thank you, 3 exclamation points. Good stuff. And that's one of the big challenges too in summer ball. Like Gavin's going to show up Saturday and he's going to meet 2 or 3 new guys that he's never caught before, probably.
Right. Yeah.
He might have been able to catch some of them at practice, which is obviously good, and that's why we have to have the preseason practice and stuff. But that's why it's, Gavin, like when you show up, man, like you got to get to know those guys. You got some good pitchers on your team. We just talked about Alex Paul. He's one of them, and he just kind of carved at the inner squads.
That was impressive.
So Gavin's got a job to do. He's got to get to know his guys, and he's got to develop that trust relationship so we can optimize and we can be the best pitcher and catcher duo we can be. Cool. Good answer. You want to get back to our list, Josh?
Yes. Let me
We can skip some of them. I guess if you see one that you don't think is a good question for Ked, we can skip them.
I'm trying to get back. Oh, here we go. Hold up. Yeah, go ahead and do the next one because I'm still...
Cool. Thanks for letting me know, Michael. We got Brody listening. Very good. There's another one of our catchers.
Brody is listening but can't comment in the chat. Gotcha.
Here's a question. Ked, glove flip or bare hand play? Ooh, as a pitcher. You ever done... I mean, you probably fielded some bare hands, right? On a bunt
bare
play.
hands, yeah.
You just pick it up and throw it.
Have you ever made a glove flip play?
I don't know about in game, but we practice it in PFPs. A glove flip home, do or die, bases loaded.
Oh yeah,
you're sprinting all out to the
squeeze
ball.
bunt, all kind of stuff.
Yep, I love working on those. I love every pitcher wants to be an infielder, so they just love glove flips. They want to do something athletic that's not just throwing a baseball to a mitt. But I also love when a a pitcher goes down the third base line and just bare hands it and like without even like hesitation just turns and rips it to first like as hard as they can to make a sweet play. I love doing that too. So I don't think I could go wrong with either.
Good answer.
I like it. I know the answer to this, but coffee or energy drink?
Energy drink for sure, but I'm trying to get into coffee, and it's just like a slow, steady process. Let's say that.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I like the clean energy drinks that are like green tea based.
Yeah, that's what I got right here, everybody.
That's my stuff right there.
It's my V8. Shout out to V8.
The other stuff, that could be a little toxic, but
yeah, definitely got to be careful with those.
Yeah.
Coach Trent and Coach Cal are the big coffee guys. So
yeah, Coach Trent that's an understatement.
Yeah, it's coffee. I hate coffee. It tastes like burnt water.
Yeah, I can't stand
out on it. That's why I drink the green tea or whatever. Okay, cool. Go to cheat meal after a long day, Ked. What's your spot?
I would say like after coaching at Lake Point or the inner squads, I could go for like a cookout or a Zaxby's. I'm a big Zaxby's guy.
Zaxby's.
Wow, you look like a big Zaxby's guy. I'll tell you that.
Whatever that means.
All right. I know you've been coaching with us, the last 3 summers, but if you weren't, what would you be doing?
I would be doing something with baseball, whether it be giving lessons. I'm doing my own training for baseball, internships for school, whether it be at like a PT clinic or at the training facility that I'm at now. I would be doing some sort of work because I can't over a summer. I can't just sit around this house and do nothing. So I'd be finding myself doing work.
No, yeah, I like that. I got a follow-up for you. So what is it about baseball that you love so much that, just makes you not only want to play it as a player, but to pour back into it to help, the up-and-coming players, the high schoolers, the middle schoolers, and anybody else that you get the opportunity to either coach or train?
I think I've grown up in an athletic house, so I think seeing all of my siblings go on to play their college sports, and my brother played baseball, and when I was younger, I looked up to him, and then I looked up to other college players and then professional athletes. So I've grown up around the game of baseball, and the second I started throwing and playing catch with my parents in the front yard, I just fell in love with the game. And so seeing myself, I've got to grow up and see them, their process of the recruitment, how they talk to coaches and the visits that they got to go on. And I got to go on with them to colleges. I was just it was a no-brainer for me. I think I knew before even high school that I was going to play college baseball, and I played basketball too. And I was I'm playing through high school and that's it. I knew baseball was for me. I think it's one of those things where it's when somebody asks you the question, how do you feel love or something? It's just it's there. And I had that for baseball.
I love it. No, that's a great answer, man. That's a great answer.
Good stuff. What is a hidden talent you have no one would expect?
Uh, my hidden talent used to be throwing both ways, but everybody knows it, and I don't do it anymore. I would say juggling would be my next one.
He's a big juggler. Who knew? Yeah.
Wow.
If anybody who doesn't know, Coach Ked, when he was playing for us, he was awesome and super unique because he can pitch with both hands. I think probably the only guy we've ever coached who's ever been able to do that. And like he can do it with both.
And it was crazy too, because I remember there was a couple tournaments where you're like, hey, I can just throw the next game with my next hand.
Incredible.
But people were like, no, you can't do that. And I mean, it was kind of silly because it was like you were almost like two people, but
it's
some
awesome.
of the rules still didn't let you like the perfect games with the pitch count and everything. So
right.
It was kind of a bummer sometimes, but it was awesome talent.
Yeah. I'll never forget too, because I was still playing pro ball at the time and I was like, Trent, what? You have a guy who throws with both hands? No way.
Yeah.
So cool. Just like so awesome. All right. You got your turn or my turn?
I think it's mine. But I think that's kind of all the ones. Yeah. I mean, what's you have a dream car?
Some sort of sports car. I'm not a big car guy.
Yeah, same. I'm just like whatever gets me from point A to point B.
Sure that. Yep. What's one place on your travel bucket list, Ked?
I want to go, I think it's called like Glacier Mountain National Park up in Wyoming, I believe. That's a top on my bucket list.
Cool, man.
Sounds awesome.
All right. So that's kind of our rapid fire little section. So we'll go a little more in depth with you here. Again, guys, if you have any questions for Coach Ked, he'll be sticking with us for the rest of the show as well. Make sure that you drop them down into the comments. So, Ked, what's been your favorite Coastal Stars coaching moment so far?
I keep on giving you guys. I keep on saying it like every time. It's probably my first weekend debut coaching. Going. I
mean, it's hard to beat.
It was like except for Coach Chase last year winning the tournament.
Yeah,
it was
that's
one
insane.
Of the moments
that was
where
madness.
it was like really good talent, first time coaching, a really like scrappy squad, and we just went out and beat 3 teams. We faced multiple Division I commits, going there in college, and we went out and took care of business, played flawless defense, and it's one of those things where it's like baseball is a game where anybody can beat anybody on a given day. It's what team shows up, and we showed up all weekend, and super proud of those guys for winning that weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah, love it. I got one more question. Do you have, and this one might be hard to answer, do you have a favorite Coastal Star that you've coached so far? Who's been your favorite player to coach? Any idea?
That's so tough.
I'm trying to think back to all the guys I've had. I think the one that sticks out to me is Jackson Sayer, just because of the way he played. He was you stick me out there, I'm going to play. You want me in center field, I'm going. Shortstop, second base, catcher, on the mound, you name it, I'm going to go out there and give it all I got. There was never like a dull moment with him, and he was still a good teammate. Like he did everything the right way. He let his emotions get to him sometimes, but it was one of the things where I could keep him in check and say, hey, like, body language is huge. And he's like, yes, sir, got it. Like, I think he would be one that sticks out. I've had a ton of really talented players, though, and dudes that do the right thing, and I've got to create really good relationships with a lot of them. So I think picking, like, one is difficult.
Yeah, I knew that'd be tough. I'd have a really hard time doing that too. And you have different guys for different reasons too.
Yeah.
Like you might have a guy who like decided to be like, baseball's not for me. But like he could still be like one of your favorite kids to coach for a different reason.
Yeah, just like his personality, good to be around.
Right.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Absolutely. All right.
Nice. Well, Coach Ked, if you guys got any more questions, I think we're going to do some base running talk real quick.
Yep. We are about to get into this base running section here. It is an art. And
base running.
I know we talked about having your brother Cam and my brother Jacob on. I think Jacob is finishing up his private license.
Shout out to
within
Jacob.
the next like week or two.
Yeah,
and
he
so
played for the Coastal Stars.
Yeah, he played his senior season
That's
for the
right,
Coastal
man.
Stars before he went to Reinhardt.
That's right.
Is the record holder for most stolen bases at Reinhardt, but he's going to be home for I think a week here soon, and so maybe we can have him in studio on the podcast.
Yeah, that'd
as
be
well.
sick. It's
That'd be
it's pretty cool because both of us have younger brothers who have a school record for stealing
Right, yeah.
bases. So we got to get them on the podcast.
Yeah, it's like,
Talk
it's
about
a
how to steal some
no-brainer.
bases. Yeah,
Right.
I love it. That's so cool.
Yes. But yeah, I have the base running approach. Do you want me to put it on the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want
So
to, that'd be
yeah,
sweet.
we'll do that.
We'll talk about it briefly.
And then we will.
Yeah, and we might even need to update this. Like a lot of our documents, like they're constantly evolving. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how long it's been since we updated this base running one. But we'll talk about it briefly. And Ked, if you got, is Ked still with us?
Yes, but I'll have to cut to the other screen.
Okay,
'cause
that's fine.
He can hear us, but we
Okay.
can't hear him unless he's on the screen.
Okay, cool. So Ked, we're gonna cut to you about halfway through just to see if you got anything to add to this. Okay, because we don't want to lose Ked. I want to keep him on
Absolutely.
in case we got some more.
I'm gonna start cutting
questions.
this cake, so I'm gonna mute my mic.
Yeah, go ahead. But the base running approach, first thing you'll see on the screen, hustle. We talked about it a couple weeks ago in the podcast. There's two things you can control at all times on the baseball field. It's your attitude and your effort. And so every single play, every single moment on the baseball field, you got to hustle. And that's what college coaches are looking for. The next thing, look for opportunities. We got a few different ways you can do that. Always look for a way to take the next bag, whether or not it's players not paying attention, middle infielders sleeping, lazy catchers, whatever the case may be. Look for the way to take the next bag. We talk a lot about dirt ball reads, and that's one of the things that our younger players really have to kind of struggle through at first. And it's also more difficult on turf to read dirt balls. But read dirt balls is really important. If you see the catcher, go for the block, or if you see the angle of the pitch headed down, sure, I'll take some cookie cake. Take the next bag. And it's a thing that takes an instant commitment, and that's called a dirt ball read. You read the angle of the pitch, and due to the angle of the pitch, catcher's going to have to block it. And before he even blocks it, you just go. Look for patterns and tendencies, or if a pitcher's not paying attention, take advantage of that. You should always prefer to make a mistake being too aggressive rather than too scared. And I know my 14, you guys have heard this multiple times already. And the player that Coach Ked just mentioned, Jackson Sayer, was a great example of this. That kid played with his hair on fire all the time. Sometimes we'd have to say, hey, Jackson, that's
tone it down.
Tone it down. That's too aggressive. And that's the type of player that we love to coach. And that's why he said he was his favorite. But we want our guys to make aggressive mistakes. We don't want guys who play scared. We want guys who can make mistakes on the aggressive side and learn from them. Creating opportunities, force poor throws, make defenders rush, make pitchers worry. So good base runners have a presence. Like when you get on base, you can feel them if you're the pitcher. Be aware of the situation. This is a great thing that we could get Cam and Josh to hop on the podcast for. But when you get to first base, there's really a mental checklist. You have to know how many outs there are. You have to know where the defenders are playing. You have to know the signs from your coach. You have to know how deep each outfielder is. What's the score of the game? Is my run important? Do I need to be aggressive on this dirt ball? Or if we're down by 4 and we're 1 out away from losing, I can't be that aggressive because my run doesn't matter that much, right? Where are we in the lineup? Are we in the heart of our lineup so that I should probably let my 4-hole hit or whatever the case may be? So a lot of things to just be aware of in the situation. I mentioned be aware of the defense. How deep is the outfield playing? How good are the arms of the outfielders? So that's some more stuff that, good outfield or good base runners, are aware of. How good is the catcher's arm? The pitcher's time to the plate. So smart baseball players know what a good time to the plate is. And we talked a lot about this. I think Coach Cal's team really struggled with this at the inner squats. We had our stopwatches going. And I know Noah Parker was really slow to the plate. I think Joshua Tanner was really slow to the plate. And that was one of the things we said.
Yeah, a lot of guys in the 1.7s.
Yeah, I was like, dude, you guys are all 1.7, 1.8 to the plate. We can't throw anybody out. You have to slide step. I need you to be a 1.2 to a 1.4.
Got to give your guy a chance.
Yeah, and so smart baseball players know that. They know, hey, if I'm 1.8 to the plate, the guy on first is quickly going to become a guy on third.
Right.
And that's how you lose games. You just give the opponent extra bases.
Yeah. I'll tell you a sneaky high IQ base running thing is when you go to steal a base, slide steps, you just break it down. And so you could be, all right, I'm stealing. You see a slide step and it's like, oh, you break it down and you just give an aggressive secondary.
Yeah.
And then you just reset.
Yeah.
And then now the pitcher's like, whoa. Catcher's like, whoa, is he going? Is he not? And so that's another thing. That's another way to be a presence. When you're getting aggressive leads and the catchers having to worry about you, the pitchers having to worry about you, you're putting pressure on the defense, and they're more likely to make a mistake now. Pitchers more likely to leave a ball over the middle, to give your guy a chance to drive you in, wild pitches to where you can easily advance rather than having to steal. So just things of that nature. And so, you should always be thinking, again, like Coach Justin said, about how can I take this next bag? But then again, you got to be kind of like, we talk about this when we, talk about some of the plays that we implement. Like, you can't just show your hand, essentially. There's got to be some finesse. There's got to be some acting. Right. And so you got to kind of play it cool, act like you're not going. Like one thing that I know we talked about Cam was really good at was, he wouldn't get like a big lead because he was good at like vaulting and being able to go. And if the guy picked, it was like, okay, well, I didn't, just mistimed it. Break it down and get back to the bag. My brother was really good at that as well. And so just really studying the art and getting better, because it's a craft, right? A lot of things in baseball are a craft, which is what makes baseball unique. Like some of the other sports are like just pure physical, purely like physical you can speed. Just go and dominate somebody with your physical presence. But in baseball, it takes not only the physical part of it, but the mental game. Right. And you got to be locked in at all times.
Yeah. One of the things my dad says is there's so many games within the game.
Right.
Like a game within the game would be like a good base runner at first trying to pick up on the pattern of the pitcher.
Right.
Like he's a one Mississippi guy, or he's only one looking when I'm at second. Like there's so many games within the game that some of these younger players, they just don't know. But yeah, you see it on the screen there, know how to run the plays. You mentioned that, know how to steal. And one of the things, if I'm a college coach and I'm watching a player and I'm trying to determine if he knows how to run the bases, and maybe I'll see his third base coach, give a sign or whatever. And I'm like, okay, like let's see how he runs. Like I'm looking to see if this guy knows how to steal.
Right.
And he's got steal, and he takes off to steal, and all of a sudden the pitcher does a super quick slide step, and that base runner shuts it down. So he takes a hard step or two as soon as he goes to the plate, sees that it's a slide step, and then stops, and like you said, turns it into his normal secondary, and then just goes back to the bag. I'm like, that's high baseball IQ.
Yeah.
And that's called shutting down a steal, or, shutting down on a slide step, or on the screen there, it says shut it down on a poor jump. Like we give green light. We've talked about it time and time again with our players. Like a lot of guys have green light. You have green light to run, but you have to know if you get a terrible jump, you have to stop and go back to the bag, or you're going to get thrown out.
Like, yeah, even if I give a straight steal, I want to see my guy do that.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
if it's like a hit and run, obviously go. Make sure he goes to the plate and then go. But if it's a steal, and you get a bad jump or you see him slide step, break it down, turn it into secondary, because it's better to, not give the other team an out, right?
Right.
And still have that pressure of you being on base.
Yeah, no doubt. Know how to do the force balk, know how to do a delayed steal. If you miss a sign, this is a big one. Some of the kids just panic. When you're a guy who panics.
Don't panic.
Yeah, when you're a guy who panics on the baseball field, you've got a lot of growing to do. And so players, if anybody's watching this, you're one of the younger guys and you found yourself like nervous on the field, like you have to grow out of that. You have to grow up and realize like, hey, there's some things like if I'm panicked on the baseball field, it's because I'm not prepared. It's because I haven't spent the time to ask questions to coach, to learn the signs, to learn the plays, or I don't trust my instincts. And that's why we panic. Yeah. And that's something that is a separator. Like the bad players panic. The good players trust their game because they spent the time and the effort to learn the stuff and to kind of know the stuff, what to do in those game situations.
Yeah, proper preparation breeds confidence. And when you're confident, that's when you're able to go out there and play your best.
Yeah, no doubt. Some of the common rules we talk about, don't steal in hitters counts, 2-0-3-1. They're throwing a fastball. Let your guy hit. Don't make the first or third out at third base. That's a big one.
Yeah, it's just a cardinal rule of baseball.
That's just a bad base running if you do that. Slide, obviously. If it's a close play, slide.
That is something that we do run into. We always have a kid or two, probably on multiple teams every year, that just doesn't get down or doesn't get out of the way. Like if you find yourself at first base and there's a double play ball, you either got to peel off or slide, especially if you're only halfway to the bag. Don't just keep running, right? Because they're going to call interference every single time. And instead of just one out, it's automatically 2 outs. So you never know. The guy, it could have been a bad throw. First baseman botches it, or our guy just beats it out. But you didn't give us a chance to, for the play to actually play out. So,
yeah,
big thing there. One thing I wanted to say about base running that I have to just hammer home to my guys every single year is after you get your secondary lead, you have to be hard back every single time, because good catchers, if you aren't able to do that, will pick you off easy. If you get a good secondary, or even if you get a lazy secondary, but you got slow feet going back, what's the term? Slow feet don't eat, or whatever it is. Like you're going to get picked, and you're going to get picked easy.
No doubt. Sorry if anybody just heard me chewing there. I was
I was about to mute you because I had to mute my mic.
I was chewing right here. Let's get Ked back in and see if he's got anything to add to our base running. Ked, were you listening to that base running talk? I don't know how much base running you've gotten to do lately, but anything you got to add?
Yeah, I haven't got to do much, only controlling the base running.
Hey, that's important though.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll talk about from the pitcher's perspective, like what do you look for in bad base runners to be like, okay, I'm about to pick this guy, so that our pitchers can learn, but then also our position players who are going to be running the bases also know what not to do.
Yeah, so a lot of it, I mean, especially in college, it helps with scouting reports, but it's also easy to pick up on in-game like tendencies of if they're trying to vault, who the guys are that are fast, like making mental notes as a pitcher of saying, hey, usually, I mean, in travel ball, it's usually like the 1 and 2 hole and maybe the 8 and 9, somewhere in there is going to be the guys who are fast. And I mean, when we get on campus, the first thing that pitchers do is get this big long manual that's of like 40 pages, and week by week we talk about it. One of the sections is controlling the run game, and up at a manual we have to have around a 1-3 to pitch. Now, if you're 90 plus, there's a little bit of leeway there. Or if you just like don't let anybody on base, then okay. But there's certain teams like in our conference, like shorter, they're big on the vaulting. And I know we've talked to certain guys about how to vault, especially at second base. The guys who are fast and to pick up pitchers' tendencies, and that's one of the things they do. Well, if you've got, like you guys talked about, we have dudes who were a 1-5, 1-6, 1-7, like you're turning singles into triples, and up at college and high school, that's not going to play. Like you won't set foot on the mound if you can't control that, because on top of that, well, then you've got dudes who in the 3-4-5 hole who can bang baseballs in the gap, and now you've just got dudes who you're supposed to keep off the bases or on first are now on second or third, and then those dudes are hitting balls in the gap, and it's like, well, where do the runs stop coming across? So I mean, controlling the run game is huge, because if you can take a team like in our conference shorter, if you can take a team who wants to run and you have a sub 1-3 to the plate and you're not allowing them to play the game that they want to play, you've taken them out of it, and now you're able to control the pace of the game and how you want to dictate everything, and it makes winning games and having success a whole lot easier.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh yeah, that was perfectly said. How do you stop? Vaulting has become like this big thing in base running. Like when I came up at North Georgia, we were also very traditional in a lot of things that we did as well. And so kind of the first time I really heard about vaulting was like my brother was like doing it, and I was like, oh, how are you so good at stealing, bro? Yeah. Like I was relying on my raw speed and, anticipation just from, I guess, just the balls of my feet. But they're like anticipating in a whole different way. So how do you stop, especially good base runners who are, like you said, shorter is a team that's big on vaulting. Like how do you control that specifically?
The biggest thing, and I've talked about it with the 14-year-olds, not specifically on like vaulting per se, but it pertains to vaulting, is you have to actually learn like how to become pitchers, and part of that is mixing timings and holds, mixing up looks, like not allowing people to just anticipate. I know everybody uses the chart like UCLA for the hold time and how you are to the plate, and then it comes down to how quick you are to the plate. But the biggest thing, especially at this level, is not even how quick you are to the plate, but mixing up timings on holds, especially on dudes who want to vault, is, well, if you're mixing those up and then they're starting to get that hop or that secondary that they're starting to get, it's an immediate back pick. And at that point, it kind of becomes feel. But it also, like, when you're doing that long hold, is keeping a constant eye on them out of the corner of your eye, so you know when they're starting to get that anticipation move to the right, it's no hesitation and you pick. But when you're constantly, I've seen it with some of the younger guys here, when you're doing just like the constant well, I mean, you can't really keep dudes off second base if you're going to continuously do that. So you have to always mix it up and be counting it in your head. Like, hey, I just did a short hold. I'm going to do a long hold this time. Maybe it's back to short and then short again and long. But mixing those up constantly is a big part of being a pitcher.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's really good.
That's one of the things too. Like we already said, the game within the game, and that's a game within the game. Like those pitchers, a lot of our guys, and that's why we have our pick plays. Like we force them to do long holds.
Right.
They have to know how to do it. Pitchers, if you're watching this, you better know the plays. I'll probably post them again in the group me before we play this weekend. You have to know how to do a long hold. And so many pitchers, 14, 15, 16, they just come set and they go. They come set and they go. They do the same exact thing over and over again.
Right.
And then obviously good base runners take advantage of that. It's in our base running guidelines, right? That's what we're looking for. We're looking for guys who don't know how to pitch. So that's huge. Good stuff there from Coach Ked. Anybody else who's got a question for Coach Ked, make sure to drop it in the chat, or a question for me or Coach Josh. I think we had a couple on Instagram. We can dive into those. But Josh, you want to move on? Let's go to those Proflytics. Do you want to talk about some of the stuff?
Yes, real quick though. I think Gavin is in the chat saying, "I love stealing." So shout out to him.
Yeah, Gavin, you probably run the bases. Gavin's a good athlete.
Yeah,
so
like
he might be a guy.
He's probably one of the faster guys on his team, to be honest with you.
Might be.
So yeah, no, but yeah. So let's get on to the Proflytics here. Today we're going to be diving pretty quickly into kind of the rest of what makes up the Proflytics section. So let me get to my iPad again. So yeah, last week we went over carry. Hey Justin, is that bag over there? If you just open that back flap, and my iPad, my Apple Pen is right in there, so I might use it. Just the back flap. Yes. But anyway, so let me go. So today we're going to be diving into Bolt Blast. We talked about carry and how all three of those make up S4 and Profit. And that's basically the main components of how we, rank players. So Bolt, it stands for base offensive leadoff threat. So you see the formula there, comprised of on-base percentage, quality at bat percentage, walks, Ks, and then it's divided by a benchmark. Thank you, man. And so you'll see that this is just essentially how good are you at getting on base. And so for a lot of our players, they actually have a high Bolt, because a lot of our players are good at getting on base, good at drawing walks, especially with limited plate appearances. So a lot of our guys actually, some of our best players are over 100 to the benchmark. Now, as you see, elite, leadoff, college ready, generally over like 110 plus, and that's kind of the tier list there. Also, here's something that's pretty cool. The bonus status pepper, which is basically your Bolt. Every tournament, your ending Bolt gets calculated and summed with basically you accumulated every event, and that's what makes up pepper. So that's what we mean when we say pepper. Blast is the opposite of Bolt. It stands for barrel launch and slugging threat. So it's essentially how well you drive the ball. And then juice again, it's the stat where it's accumulated per event. And as you see here, the numbers, the tier list is a little bit lower because our guys, we don't have guys driving over the fence very often.
No, it's hard.
It's hard. It's hard, especially with wood bats in the summer.
Yeah.
And so the benchmark is still 100. Obviously, like that's our ideal player. But to be in the top echelon of juice is more like 80 plus rather than, 110 plus. Of course, we got carry. And then here is where we get into, who's the best of the best and how do we crown MVPs and stuff like that. SWAR stands for star wins above replacement. Essentially, it's like an overall impact score. And so what we do as coaches at tryouts, especially, like we have charts that we take notes on. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times we'll have like defense, we'll have power, we'll have contact, basically all of your tools, and we'll put a 1 through 5 on them. And that kind of lets us know like, oh, this is a guy that needs some work in this area versus this is a guy that's ready to play. Like he's going to be a college prospect. He could go on to play in college, which is like the number 5. And so S4 basically scales your performance to fit in that metric. But you can obviously have over a 5, like Joseph Stallings and Jet, Jonathan Turner, with their performances being 1-2. I think Joseph had like a 12 and Jet
pretty good
had an 11 to get the season started. So like they're doing good. And there's a lot of guys that are over 5. Obviously, it's only one game, one day. But at the end of the season, you're going to probably find that your, reliable starters were between 3 and 4. And then kind of like your MVP candidate might be a, 5 plus. I think Parker Landrum was at like a 4, 8, 9 with one of the highest there. And then the accumulated star S4 is star power right there. We'll go over profit next week, but essentially it allows us per plate appearance. It's like your impact per plate appearance. So S4 goes into it, carry goes into it, plus your plate appearances. And so you accumulate profit, and it's actually measured with dollar signs, but it stands for player return on field impact total. So cool. That is your Proflytics for today. We'll dive into them. Like we said, when I say that you don't want to miss next week, because we're going to be starting something so cool and interactive, you're going to want to be in the chat next week. So whatever we got to do to make you guys get in the chat, whatever incentives, let us know, because it's going to be good. And Coach Justin and I will be brainstorming just more interactive things to get the conversation sparked, because we want it to be more of a conversation. Obviously, we're going to do some interviews like with Coach Ked and stuff, but we also want to interact with you guys as well. So yeah,
absolutely. Cool stuff there, man. Josh is doing an awesome job with some of the stats. I mean, we're creating some cool ways to track player performance in areas of improvement. And so that's really cool. We're keeping up with those things so we can kind of, better coach the guys and give better feedback. And so that's one of the things that as a coach, it's a tool at our disposal. And thankfully we've got Josh who is building some cool tools for us.
Yeah. And it's cool. It's cool for us because as coaches, of course it's cool for the players to get to see their stats, and it's kind of like measured in a different way. So it's almost gamified, which is what I'm trying to do, is kind of turn this into almost like you're a player, you're playing in a real life video game essentially. But as coaches, one of the things that I'm implementing into the database that we all, log the stats into is, okay, you have this player, pulls up the stats. What is he good at, and what does he need to improve on based on his numbers? And so that's something, like we have a coaches meeting coming up that I'll be able to share with the guys and say like, hey, look, you plug in a guy here, it's going to pull up not only his numbers, but it's going to kind of give you a breakdown of like, this is what he's good at. This is what, probably he needs to work on. Obviously you're going to be watching him, every weekend, so you'll know too, but that just gives you a greater context as well. So
yeah. Cool stuff. Very good. We'll bring Ked back in. All right. To finish things up tonight, guys, we've got just a couple of other questions I think folks submitted. A couple of these are fun.
Yep.
All right. Here we go. This question comes from none other than Mr. Tyler Knight. Shout out to Tyler Knight. Don't know if you're still watching. If you are, this is your question. How many different positions do you think Jonathan Turner could play this summer?
How many different positions?
How many different positions?
Oh,
he's going to play
before
third.
Ked answers, he's going to play third, short, and second.
Probably all three of those.
And I think maybe if you need him 2 for an inning, he might find himself in the outfield.
He pitched last fall.
He pitched last fall?
He pitched last fall. He also played right field last fall. and he did a great job in right field.
So over or under 6.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm.
He also caught. Wait a minute. Wait, I think he caught too. We had an extra game where a team needed to play, and some guys stuck around to play. He actually caught. Don't think catching is in his future, but he's a really good third baseman, a really good athlete. So, I mean, he could play first too. I mean,
yeah, he might find himself an on 9.
Yeah, the over under is like at 7, which is pretty high.
Yeah, that's. Yeah.
All right, Ked, what do you got here?
After what I saw this past weekend with him, I mean, the whole team that I've got is just like athletes. And it's just much like Jonathan Turner, it's like you could plug a lot of these guys in a lot of different spots. And when I saw him, I was like, okay, anywhere in the outfield. It was just like a Jackson Sayre to me. That's the vibes that I got. It's like, okay. I mean, I feel like if I went up to that guy and I was like, hey, where do you want to play today? He was like, I'll play anywhere if I'm playing. Like,
right.
So I think the line of 6.5 or 7, like anywhere where that dude wants to
6.5 is tough.
Guy, he'll be there.
6.5 Vegas odds.
Love it.
All right, Quentin Peterson wants to know: will you try to mic us up for some tournaments?
Yeah, this is the question I get the most every single summer. And the big thing is, like, we've done mic'd up in the past, and it's been pretty cool, especially when we haven't been so good. But the only issue is when a guy has a mic on, he kind of like tries too hard. And I know, like, for a guy like Quentin, he doesn't really have to try that hard, and I think he'd be fine with the mic. But then you also run into the issue that everybody, once you mic up one guy, is like everybody wants to get mic'd up now. And so you really have to stress. And also, Coach Trent is a big filter. He's like, we can mic this guy up, can't mic that guy up. And I mean, for good reasons too, because we don't want to have to edit for, 10 minutes out of your, 30-minute clip.
Yeah.
Because you're just not, it's just not entertaining. And so,
yeah, so some guys have too much things that, I don't know. So they just say things that nobody like.
Well, okay. So you got two spectrums. So you got guys that just say dumb things that you're like, come on, like we can't put this out.
They're high school kids.
Like I'm sure this would be cool in your little group chat, but we're not putting this out as an organization, right? And then you have the guys who just act weird. Like you're like, okay, this guy, he would be great. He has a great personality, but you could tell he's just, he's just trying. And the best content comes naturally and organically. Yeah,
you almost need to mic a guy up so he doesn't know he's mic'd.
Yeah,
that's how you had to do it.
Yeah, we just have to like clip it on
secret mic.
Right.
Yeah, we've done it in the past. Maybe some All-Star Weekend stuff. We can look at it then, perhaps. But yeah, we got to focus on competing first and foremost. Worry about the media stuff later.
Well, I will say, especially with Ked, helping out a good bit this summer. We're trying to ramp up the media stuff. I know last summer I didn't get to do as much of it. I was preparing for a wedding and all sorts of changes and stuff like that. Yeah. But now that we're settled in, I can really focus. Also, I think it's a good time to play the little snippet that Ked whipped up. So
we got 18 people watching.
Yeah.
You guys get a little sneak peek treat here.
You saw me with all my camera gear and photography gear this weekend. I just gave the footage to Ked, and he's going crazy and editing some fire for you guys. So we're going to take a sneak peek at, this is just a snippet of the overall hype video, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, perfect. All right, so here we go. I love it. It's fire.
Yeah.
It's fire. So yeah, I can't wait. I know Ked just shared the cloud project with me, so we'll be going back and forth, mixing it up, making it perfect. When are we trying to have that done?
I was trying to have it Thursday or Friday.
Thursday or Friday. Perfect. Tournament. That sounds good to me. But yeah, awesome job, Ked. Doing a really good job. Saw you put out those photos that were taken as well. So really good job on getting those out as well. But yeah, it's a lot of good things happening. We're trying to really make not only, our goal is for you to get better and get seen, guys, but we really want to make this like a really good experience so that, when you leave the Coastal Stars, whether you decide not to play or go to another team, that you could say like, I had a really good experience with these guys. I learned a lot, but I also just had fun playing ball, which is, that's our goal. So
yeah, get better, get seen, have fun. Great example of that, Jamie McDaniel, one of the first guys in the chat tonight.
He got mic'd up.
Yeah, he was one of the mic'd up guys in the past.
Mic'd up.
And he was a former player in our program. Now he's a high school coach. And also, last time I spoke with Jamie, he was an area scout. Can't remember for which big league club, but he was doing some scouting work.
Yeah, we got to have him on the pod.
So yeah, we need to get Jamie on the pod. Jamie, if you're still in the chat,
and
dude,
we're gonna play.
If you're still watching at this point in time,
up.
comment, and you'll be in the podcast next week.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you're still watching, like, you deserve it. So to the 18 of you still watching, we appreciate your time. Shout out to Coach Ked. You're crushing it, Ked. We love you. And that's all we got for tonight. Josh, give them some parting words.
Yeah, man. I just hope everybody is having a good time, enjoying the summer. And I know there's some graduations and some different end of the school festivities coming up, but everybody be safe. Remember to leave early for this weekend, but we can't wait to officially get back on the field and see the Stars in their uniforms. And again, can't stress this enough. Next week, you're going to want to be locked in and dialed, because we're going to have some fire. Again, stats are live, and the Stars, they are hot. So until next week, we bid you
guys
adieu.
later.